Welcome everyone to the September 2025 auction in Denton, Texas. Arcade 92 is on the scene and perusing a long history of arcade machines, and gotta find something that we absolutely can't live without and need to bring back to one or both of the Arcade 92 arcade locations. So let's check this out and see what they got. Okay, one game that immediately caught my attention was a 1975 Steeplechase by Atari. So, man, this is a survivor. If we had to define what a survivor was, so this is a close to 50-year-old game. No, it is a 50-year-old game here. So, pretty wild to see one of these. So this comes from what's generally called the Bronze Age of the arcade eras. So this would be if Pong came out in 1972, so this would be like 3 years after Pong, but before the golden age of the arcade, which really kind of started in 1979. So this is a really unique game, and another thing that makes it very unique, well, I'd have to see this in real life, is it is a 6-player game. So really the game comes down to just figuring out the proper timing and pressing the button at the right moment to get the horse to jump over the gate. So how 6 people would fit on this thing, I'm not really sure, but that's how it was designed. But great game. I got it to fire up, had a chance to play it, and it's pretty dang entertaining. Okay, looks like we've got an APB, got a Neo Geo that's definitely been converted by some kind of Data East game, like a RoboCop or a Bad Dudes, something along those lines. So actually it's got like a Street Fighter control panel. So this game is definitely like a hodgepodge of a lot of different games from over the years, but I guess now it's a Neo Geo game. Okay, so next game here. So this one deserves some talking to here. This is Regulus. So Regulus is by Sega and came out in 1983. So this is early Sega, even though Sega had been around for quite some time. Its popularity paled in comparison to Frogger, which was released about 2 years earlier than that. So Frogger was kind of the big breakout game for Sega, only to be matched in 1989 when Sonic the Hedgehog came out for the Sega Genesis. So the reason this one's kind of worth talking about is this is a great example of where rarity does not necessarily denote value. So don't get me wrong, it's a great game, good collector's item, but it's like a 2 out of 100. So this is an extremely rare game to find. The downside is that very few people actually like it. So as far as like playability, it's like a 1 out of 100, or desire to collect is like a 1 out of 100. So this one probably won't go for very much, which is always interesting to see such an extremely rare piece, but not to expect it to sell for much. Okay, next we have a Mr. Do's Castle by Universal, and another Sega game, Choplifter, which is actually a really, really fun and unique game. It's pretty beat up though, so this is going to need some TLC to get back to its glory days. Okay, next we have a Super Pac-Man, which I've actually always wanted a Super Pac-Man, but we've never had one in the arcade. And honestly, it was just a really big mess, a really big miss in the Pac-Man franchise. Okay, and then next we have Ninja Gaiden. Okay, so this is definitely a game we're going to spend some time talking about. So Ninja Gaiden, so how I know it is from the 1988 version on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And talk about having a legacy. So this October 2025, next month from the making of this video, Ninja Gaiden 4 is coming out. So, and that's going to be on like the Xbox Game Pass. So super excited about that. But what really caught my eye about this one is not just because it's a good looking cabinet. So I personally had never played the arcade version of Ninja Gaiden. And so when I started playing this game, just kind of check it out, see if it would be a good fit for the arcade, I was actually really surprised how little I recognized the game. First cool thing is that there's actually a third button on the top of the joystick that is used to interact with your environment, and that is pretty cool. That was not on the original NES control pad. The other thing is it completely lacks the iconic scene at the beginning of the NES version of the two ninjas in the open field and how it shows how his father was killed in battle. That's completely missing. Completely different take on the storyline of this game. Okay, next arcade game in the lineup is Arcade Legends by Chicago Gaming Company. So these are actually not a great fit for us at Arcade 92, but these are a dream if you want to have a single game in a game room, because there's like 50 or 100 games in these things. Fantastic classic. So Chicago Gaming Company is mostly known for making their pinball machines, but this is an excellent thing to have in a game room, and in like a personal game room. Okay, looks like we've got a Blasteroids, which is a game I actually really like. We have one in our Flower Mound location right now, but it doesn't get as much credit as I think it deserves. Okay, kind of cruising right along here. There's also just this ginormous soccer game. So I remember seeing these at some of the bigger arcades. Looks cool, but I don't think I ever played it. Boxing thing, so you can break your knuckles on Miss Pac-Man. And okay, let's talk about this one. This is Enter the Gungeon. This game is so great, they had to give it two different names. So it's called Enter the Gungeon, but it's also called House of the Gun Dead. So this game is unique because it is a modern arcade game. So this just came out just a few years ago by Griffin Aerotech, and they actually have another game called Sky Cursor, which is probably my #1 favorite modern arcade game. So it's a ton of fun. I've been trying to find one for the longest time and just keep coming up empty. But that said, even this Enter the Gungeon game, you could buy them new today. It's a great light gun game. Actually, it's not a light gun, but it functions like a light gun. Kind of like your Lethal Enforcers, Maximum Force, Area 51, kind of games like that. But, if you don't want to spend $5,500 on a new arcade cabinet, you can try it out on Xbox. It is a game that you can buy on Xbox right now. Now, of course, it doesn't have the guns. You can be using your controller. So it's not quite the same experience, but it is fun. It's goofy. It's entertaining. It's a great multiplayer game. So we love it. Okay, looks like we got a Snowcross next. This is a fun racer game. We like to find those in pairs though. And a coin pusher for SpongeBob. Terminator Salvation. We actually have these at both of the Flower Mound and the McKinney location. Soul Calibur, and now we've got Ghost Town. Okay, so let's talk about this one for a minute because this thing is massive. So Ghost Town was released in 2012, and that's a massive 4-player game. It was produced by LAI Games, which is not like a big name, but they've been around for a while, and their headquarters is in the Colony, Texas, which is basically a 20-30 minute drive from where we are right now. So it's an okay game. It's a good co-op game, good fun game to play with friends. It just definitely gets repetitive after a bit. And you've actually, if you've gone to a big arcade, you've actually played some of LAI's games, most likely. They have Angry Birds, Asphalt 9, which is a great game. That one's a home run as far as I'm concerned. And then also they have a new game out right now that's a sniper game using actual physical pellets and air guns based on the video game Cyberpunk. So played it a couple times and I really enjoy it. It is part of their model seems to be to make ginormous games though. So it's kind of hard to fit those in an arcade that is not 30,000 square foot. Okay, now we got Skee-Ball, and everybody loves Skee-Ball. So talk about big games though. So one of the most fascinating things I like about it is Skee-Ball gets its name like you're ski jumping, and this was actually invented in 1908, but the guy that invented it just could not get it to be successful. Originally the runways on these were 30 foot long, so ironically after the guy passed away and they redesigned it to be more like the length like what we have today, Skee-Ball became a massive success. Okay, next one I am very excited about, but I do not have any room for it at any of the arcades. But this is Virtual on Cyber Troopers, made by Sega in 1996. And so this game it's like a cockpit game, like you're driving a race car, but there's like no pedals or anything. So I feel like that was kind of a missed opportunity. But there is 2 joysticks. But the key thing is in 1996, where you've got your 80s kids who had the idea of Voltron, and in 1993 we had the Power Rangers, in 1995 had the Power Rangers movie. Just this idea of being able to pilot this giant robot mech is something that transcends all generations. We've even got, the relatively modern movie with Pacific Rim. It's just a thing we want to do. We want to pilot the giant mech. So this was an arcade game, but it, is pretty big. But it was also released on the Sega Saturn when Sega was really starting to develop and start honing in on this 3D technology in gaming. So this is the first time I have seen one since the 90s. So it is a cool game. But this thing survived fairly well, but it's a little beat up. So anyways, this one definitely pulled on the heartstrings a bit. Okay, next we got some more Skee-Ball, some Need for Speed Carbon. Again, great games you want to find in pairs. Centipede, another Miss Pac-Man that actually looks fairly good. This is, it's kind of one of your ticket redemption games. Slam Dunk Mega Bonus. So, another multi-cade. You can tell by just the super generic control panel. So, probably about 60 games on that thing. Great for game rooms. Hydro Thunder, one works, one doesn't, kind of in its natural state. Time Crisis 4. I really like Time Crisis 5, so I'll keep an eye out for that one. Silver Strike Bowling. Dizzy Chicken. Man, me and my kids played that one a lot. I think we had a win rate of 1 out of every 100 tries. Another multicade, a Joust with no monitor, so it looks like that's ready for the renovators. A Q*bert, Killer Instinct, Galaga, so a must-have classic. Donkey Kong, Paradise Lost, really big gun game, but actually a really great game. It's fun. Cruisin' Blast, and then some redemption games, Virtual Fighter, Revolution X. We've got the 3-player version of this in Flower Mound Arcade 92. So fun game inspired by Aerosmith. Another punching game, Cruisin' Exotica, Daytona USA, another Sega game. So man, I remember this one so well. Does that mean I want to buy it and restore it? No, it does not. But man, I've got a lot of memories on that game. And then we've got us like a Tekken. This is kind of where we're getting to where the renovators do work their magic. So we've got, a Tekken, a Cruisin' Exotica, a couple Need for Speed Undergrounds, which, if those are working, I would definitely be interested in those with modern monitors. But it looks like somebody sacrificed the monitors out of them for some other game. This is where all the not working stuff is. Terminator Salvation, a Hammerhead, another Virtual Fighter, and a Marble Madness. So hopefully somebody can get that one going, because that is a really, really good one. So, all right, so you need these for your game room, right? So like a Flintstones wheel and a horse. So, all right, let's shoot down this middle section here. It's got some coin changers, pool tables, air hockey tables, and there's a lot of stuff here. It's good for arcade owners, but these things are great for people who are just wanting to have their home game room. Next, we have Dead Storm Pirates. So this is actually a really cool and unique game, but I really haven't looked much into them yet, because usually they're absolutely destroyed. This one is in pretty amazing condition, which is very impressive. So as you can see, it's got like the guns, but it also has the wheel feature in the center. And as you look at like the back of it too, like there's all these really elaborate cosmetic pieces that to the slightest bump get dented and cracked and broken and all those things. And then even that little flak breaks off. But this thing is in great condition. And it is a fun game. It's really well put together, because it really does encourage a cooperative effort to play the game, because you've got, your two guns, of course, which are pretty typical for shooting games, obviously. But there's also a steering wheel in the center, so there's this kind of unique steering feature, and even parts of the game where you have to kind of shoot the same target together to be able to defeat the enemy. So again, not the best game in the world for a one player, but for a cooperative game, really impressed with its condition, and if I had room for it, I would be all over bidding on this thing. Not a ton of pinball here at this particular auction, but I do have an F-14 Tomcat by Williams, which is, at least in a retro sense, one of my more favorite pinball machines, mostly because it's Williams. They just made some really good stuff. So we also got a, let's see, like a Kings of Steel, got a Strikes and Spares, and this is a pretty snazzy looking Guns N' Roses here. So this is a much more modern pinball machine by Jersey Jacks. So that's a good looking one today. Good looking one as well. Okay, so that is everything here. So if you remember, I said the Virtual On game by Sega was kind of one that really got my attention. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap things up here on this video by just watching how the auction went and see what it sold for. So here we go.
900, 900 now one, 900 now one, 1,000 where? I'm 900 now, 1,000, 1,100, internet 1,100, 12, 1,100 now, 12, going to be 12, 12, 12, 12, 1,200. I'm 1,100 now, internet is out, 1,200, 1,100 now, 12, going to be 12, 12, 12, 15, 13 minutes, 13, 13 minutes, 1,300. I'm 1,200 now, 13, 13, 13, now 14. 13 now, 14, 14 minute, 14, 15 minute, 15, 15 minute, 15, 15 minute, 15, 15 minute, 1,500. I'm 1,400 now, 15, 15 minute, 15, 15 minute, 1,500. What do you think? 1,500, 15, 16, 15, 16 minute, 16, 16 minute, 16, 16 minute, 1,600. I'm 15, 16. If you got a camera in hand, you're bidding 16. 15, 16, 16 minute, 16, 16 minute, 1,600. I'm 15, 16, 17, 16, 17 minute, 17, 17 minute, 17. If this is the one you want, 17, 18, 17, 18 minute, 18, 18 minute, 18, 18 minute, 1,800. I'm 17, 18, 18 minute, 18, 19, 18 now, 19, 90 minute, 19, 90 minute, 19, 90 minute, 1,900. I'm 18 here now, 19, 90 minute, 1,900. What do you think? 1,800 now, 19, 90 minute, 19, 90 minute, 1,900. Last call. I'm 18. Ask a 19. 18 now, 19, 90 minute, 19, 90 minute, 19, 19. Now 2. 19 now, 2 with a 2, 2 with a 2, 2 with a 2,000. Where? I'm 1,900 now, 2 with a 2, 2 with a 2, 2 with a 2,000. I'm 1,900. Internet is out. 1,900 now, 2. 1,900 now, 2 with a 2, 2 with a 2, 2 with a $2,000. Where? Now 21. 21 would it be 21, 21, 21 with a 21, 21 with 2,100. 2,000 now, 21, 21 with a 2,100. Last call, 19, 2,000 now, 21 with a 21, 21 with a 21. Sir, give me 2,100 one more time, and I won't ask you again. 2,100. 2,000 now, 21, 21 with a 21, 21 with a 2,100. Sold at $2,000 by your number.
5071.
5071.